Gut Punched, Alzheimer's, and Caregivers. Navigating the insidious illness of Alzheimer's is something nobody asks for. The disease sneaks up on you and your loved one, and it feels like you've been sucker punched in the gut. Then you ask, where do we turn for help? Who do we call? What do we do? These questions and more are what we hope to answer and give you some direction and hope. Now let's join our host, Jeff Edwards.
Greetings and welcome. This is Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers, episode 42, or The Lost Week. How you doing? Fine, I hope. Well, for me, I'll just call it The Lost Week. Was under the weather I was. So much going around. I've slept more this past week than I have in years. I guess I'm not 40 anymore. I don't know where the time goes. Today, we'll be looking into some science-backed strategies to boost your memory, also a mineral that will help improve your sleep. Now, these two kind of intertwine together. And then we'll take a look at early-stage dementia signs begin to show. It will kind of give you some insight when you start to notice things about a loved one, things that are changing. Okay, you know what's next. The rules. Have to have them. Our Gut Punch, Alzheimer's, and Caregiver rules play a major role in your journey. And what are they? You know them. Number 1, you have to take care of yourself, because if something happens to you, who is going to take care of your loved one? Number 2, you can't do it alone. You need help. Find good caregiver groups or network with friends or relatives. And 3, you can't do it alone. And make a list of people, friends or relative, co-workers who have offered to help you in time of need, and then make a list of things you need done but can't do yourself because caregiving duties are overwhelming. Use the lists. Start at the top and keep going till you get what you need done. Done. You're going to find it very helpful. You ready? Let's go. Here's another article. It's called Science-Backed Strategies to Boost Your Memory, written by Lynn C. Allison. While aging may increase your risk of dementia, it is not an inevitable diagnosis. There are ways to safeguard your memory, according to WebMD. And here are some expert tips. Take vitamins. A healthy diet is a staple of optimal cognitive function. But research has shown that low levels of vitamin C, K, and B vitamins can increase your risk of cognitive decline. In fact, higher levels of vitamin K in the brain lower your risk of dementia by up to 20%. Vitamin K is found in many foods, including green leafy vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, fish, liver, meat, eggs, and cereals. Another one, stay busy. According to INC, Inc., researchers found that people who keep working later in life rather than retiring have a slower decline in cognitive function. The study, published in the Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization, examined millions of Chinese workers and found that those who were eligible for a government pension plan and retired suffered significant adverse effects on cognition functioning compared with workers who continued to be employed. Another one, eat brain-boosting foods. Colorful fruits and vegetables such as strawberries, peppers, apples, and oranges contain flavonoids that researchers say sharpens memory and thinking. Aim for 5 servings a day to reap the benefits. Another one, learn a new skill. Even if you have hobbies that keep you busy, stretching your mental muscles by learning a new skill improves the neuroplasticity of the brain. One of the best ways to preserve neuroplasticity is also the simplest. Keep learning, says James Greenblatt, MD, a renowned integrative physician and founder of Psychiatry Defined. Strive continuously to engage in new activities, skills, or hobbies. Every time we expose our brains to a new pressure, we trigger those adaptive biological responses that facilitate learning. Keep moving. Studies show that adults who are highly physically active have a whopping 88% lower risk of developing dementia compared to those who are moderately active. Activity also helps improve sleep and decrease stress, both of which are important for cognitive functioning. And the next makes sense. Get enough sleep. Sleep deficit can lead to several neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease, according to studies. Lack of sleep affects our judgment and memory even after 2 or 3 nights of recovery sleep, says INC Inc. And do not be afraid to take naps. Researchers found that people who habitually nap have a larger total brain volume and experience less brain shrinkage over time, the equivalent of 2.6 to 6.5 years of aging. Another tip, read a few pages before bedtime. Curling up with a good book before you go to sleep helps boost brain power, according to experts at Mather Hospital. Reading improves memory function and enhances connectivity in the brain while promoting relaxation and quality sleep. Stay social. A study by the National Institute on Aging revealed that social isolation is associated with a 50% increased risk of dementia. Researchers at Florida State University College of Medicine found that people who experience feelings of loneliness are over 30% more likely to develop dementia than those who don't. So take a walk with friends, volunteer, and find ways to connect with others to fill your social calendar while enjoying the benefits to your brain. Pretty interesting. A story from Newsmax. This supplement may help you sleep better. Written by Lynn C. Allison. A recent study found that middle-aged men and women who suffer from poor sleep had an average brain age that was as much as 3 years older than sound sleepers. The researchers also found an association between sleeping less than 6 hours nightly and developing Alzheimer's disease. But a common, inexpensive mineral may be able to address sleep problems and preserve brain health. According to USA Today, a study found that adults who took 500 milligrams of the mineral magnesium before bed had better sleep quality than the participants who took a placebo. The magnesium group also had higher levels of melatonin, the hormone that governs sleep. Magnesium is essential for sleep, says Mind Body Green. Over 300 body functions depend on magnesium, and relaxation is one of them. When we're stressed, we use up our body's store of magnesium, explains Dr. Heather Moday, founder of the Moday Center for Functional and Integrative Medicine in Philadelphia. This is one reason why I've been experimenting with taking magnesium for better, more restful sleep, she said. She says that magnesium supports muscle relaxation and balances the release of adrenaline and cortisol to regulate stress response. Since magnesium helps relax muscles, it may help with restless leg syndrome, which affects sleep quality. While more research needs to be done on how magnesium can help us sleep more soundly, experts say that natural remedies like minerals are safer, won't cause dependence, and have fewer side effects than other sleep aids such as sleeping pills. There are many types of magnesium supplements to choose from. Josh Redd, a chiropractor and founder of Red River Health and Wellness Center in Utah, recommends taking magnesium glycinate, which is gentle on the stomach. Magnesium citrate is another good option because it relaxes muscles. The National Institutes of Health of Dietary Supplements recommends that adult males get between 400 and 420 milligrams of magnesium daily. Adult females should aim for between 310 and 320 milligrams each day. And the best food sources are almonds, peanuts, and cashews, plus seeds, soy milk, and leafy greens such as spinach. The Office of Dietary Supplements says that too much magnesium from food does not pose a health risk in healthy individuals because the kidneys eliminate excess amounts in the urine. But the agency cautions that ingesting high doses from supplements or medications could trigger nausea, abdominal cramping, and diarrhea. According to the Sleep Foundation, it is also vital to practice good sleep hygiene to ensure a quality night's slumber.
We'll be right back to Gut Punched, Alzheimer's, and Caregivers.
If you have a loved one who suffers from Alzheimer's or any other type of dementia, you probably worry about where to find and get help. You're not alone. Do you know about the Guide? The program supports individuals with dementia and their caregivers through comprehensive no-cost assistance from the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Innovation. There is no cost. It's free for participants with no changes to current care. There are flexible respite options with care for your loved one at home, in a facility, or a day program. There's seamless care coordination with expert assistance in navigating community resources and accessing medical care. There is broad eligibility with all people with dementia who are covered by traditional Medicare eligible. There is a trained professional to help coordinate and ease your care responsibilities. The Guide program is here to help lighten the burden of dementia care, providing essential support and practical solutions for families navigating the challenging journey. Luckily, there is a navigator here in Southwest Florida, Dr. Adam Perry and HealthSpan Partners of Southwest Florida. Get in touch. Schedule a conversation. 863-356-1979. That's 836-356-1979. Or visit Dr. Perry's website. That's healthspanswfl.com. That's healthspanswfl.com.
This is Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Well, today we're going to talk about early stage dementia. The signs begin to show. Dementing disorders are said to have an insidious onset. They seem to sneak up slowly. The clues that these diseases are present are usually subtle and vague. Sometimes, some things seem a little off or out of kilter with the person. Most of the time, it's only when the family looks back over a few years before a diagnosis was given that the signs and clues become clear and a pattern emerges. The early stage of the disease can extend for several years, but it is a stage of the disease and the effect of the disease on the person is progressing. Early in the disease, people are still relatively able to do things independently. These persons will have difficulties with short-term memory and will show other early signs of the impact of the disease. They will probably be able to do routine daily tasks without help. They will mainly have difficulties when faced with complicated tasks. New situations that call on the person to handle a lot of information can also be problematic. There are a number of things to look out for at this level. The early stage of the disease can extend for several years, but it is a stage of the disease and the effect of the disease on the person is progressing. Early in the disease, people are still relatively able to do things independently. Now, these persons will have difficulties with short-term memory and will show other early signs of the impact of the disease. They'll probably be able to do routine daily tasks without help. And they will mainly have difficulties when faced with complicated tasks. New situations that call on the person to handle a lot of information can be problematic. There are a number of things to look out for at this level. People may have trouble with the more executive cognitive functions such as planning and judgment, or they may have difficulties in problem solving. They may also have problems planning ahead to prevent problems. And they will begin to show signs of having trouble with abstract thought and may begin to have difficulty grasping the big picture. Here are some caregiving strategies for the early stage of dementia. Encourage independent activity. People at this level perform basic everyday tasks with little or no difficulty or assistance. It may only be necessary to simplify tasks and schedules for people and to help them plan ahead. People at this level can work with others and may even be able to help others whose performance is more severely limited by the disease. Some caregivers report being able to get persons at this level to attend adult day programs by convincing them they are volunteering to help with other participants. Monitor activity. People at this stage may not fully understand the difficulties of some tasks. They may rush ahead in tasks and make mistakes, or they might get bogged down in detail. Watch how people handle new situations and tasks. or tasks that are complicated. For example, people in this early stage may seem fine in routine settings, but they become confused if they were to travel to an unfamiliar location. Even when families have vacationed somewhere for several years, the onset of a dementing disorder may produce confusion in the person when he or she travels to that location. It's possible that people will not be able to tolerate change and will become confused. They may become agitated or withdrawn. Provide directions when needed. And this can be done subtly and in the background. Persons who are showing the early signs of dementing disorders will generally listen to and be able to follow directions. They may also be aided by written instructions like notes and lists. Pay attention to key activities. Not following directions about taking prescribed medicines can have serious consequences. Start now to supervise this activity. Also, the process of getting the person to give up driving should begin as soon as the dementia diagnosis is received. A person at this level will still be able to drive. However, this person's ability to react effectively in a crisis is already compromised. Watch the person's feelings. Watch for signs of anxiety or depression. About 1 of every 3 persons with dementia becomes depressed at some point. Most of the depression occurs in early stages of the disease. Anxiety is also common. Both conditions should be looked at by a doctor. Both can be treated effectively. People may also vigorously deny the condition. Denial may be an effort to mask something they recognize. It may also really be that they don't recognize a problem. Don't argue with or try to convince people they are ill. Provide emotional support by showing concern and giving reassurance. Encourage discussion. Many people at this level are aware something is wrong. Talk about what's happening and about how both of you are feeling about it. Don't be shy about getting help with this conversation. Try the Alzheimer's Association or members of your family, a member of the clergy or professional, a nurse, family counselor, or psychologist. And make any plans you can. Some years down the road, hard choices will have to be made. People in the early stage of the disease can still think and reason and take part in making important plans and decisions. Usually, they are able to recognize their own feelings. They can still play a meaningful part in shaping choices. At this point in your caregiving career, you should consider involving the person in conversations about advanced care planning. Talk about what the person wants as he or she becomes more ill. Who does the person want to make healthcare decisions for him or her? What about reviving the person if the heart stops? If he or she develops an infection or pneumonia, when she or he is very demented, should they go to a hospital or be treated? Do they want to be given food or water by tube, should it come to that? Once you and the person feel clear about these things, write them down. Check with a nurse, doctor, lawyer, or social worker to find out how to make that document official. Living arrangements. Where you live can affect caregiving. If you think you might want to move to a different place, this is a good time to talk about it. Moving early in the disease might help the person establish routines in a new place. Care help. As the disease progresses, you will need help. You might want some time for yourself. Adult day programs or in-home help can give you a break. Later, when every part of care has to be provided, one-on-one caregiving can be overwhelming. Institutional care in an assisted living or nursing home becomes an important option. Opening up these topics now, while the person is still able to reason about them, may make the choices easier for you later on.
We'll be right back to Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Alzheimer's and dementia bring many challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. The Dubin Center offers free services to support caregivers and families. With over 30 monthly support groups, workshops, online resources, and personalized one-on-one consultations, they provide education, connection, and guidance to help you navigate caregiving. At the Dubin Center, no one faces dementia alone. Visit DubinCenter.com today.
This is Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
If you know someone who has a family member or friends who are dealing with a loved one who has Alzheimer's or any type of dementia, please share this podcast with them as we grow it to reach more caregivers and provide them with hope and direction. We would appreciate that very much. For more information, you can check out the Alzheimer's Support Network at alzsupport.org/about us, the Dubin Center at dubincenter.com. To find your local chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, you could visit alz.org/local resources/find your local chapter. Dr. Perry's HealthSpan Partners website is healthspanswfl.com. And for more information on the guide, it's probably just easier to Google it, Edge it, or DuckDuckGo it. Our website is gutpunch.com, and the email address is gutpunchac@outlook.com. We'd like to thank all of you for the positive feedback you're sending us. We're really glad we can help and maybe put some hope back in your fight. Thanks for being a part of our audience, and please come back again. Help us grow and spread the information and resources by hitting the subscribe button. God bless.
This has been Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers, with your host, Jeff Edwards. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to us on all the platforms like Spotify, Apple, Pandora, and more. If you have a question or want to get in touch, our email is gutpunchedac@outlook.com.